What's up, everybody? Liv here. Welcome back to the channel. All right, so listen, we're going to get into this video, but before we do, please feel free to like and subscribe and share if you care, all that good stuff. And we're going to talk about this Canik Rival and how it compares to the CZ P10F compact. So my last video, I did an initial review on the Canik Rival. I haven't shot it yet. And then in the review, I said, I wonder how it would compare to the CZ P10F comp. And so I told you guys to put it in the comment section if you wanted me to compare the two and review it. And majority of you guys say yes. So I didn't think you would, but you did. And so here we are. So I've been trying to figure out how I want to do this video because it's a lot of information and I don't want my video to be too long. However, I don't want to do the typical, this gun versus this gun. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to tell you what I loved about both of the firearms, and then I'm going to tell you how they started to show their differences for me, all right, in my experience. So let's get into it. I don't want it to take too long, but I'm scared to make this video because I know I got some Canik enthusiasts on here. And I got my CZ enthusiasts on here. So I'm going to have to be as clear and concise so my words are not misinterpreted. And I'm going to be as honest as I possibly can be without being biased. Is that even a thing? I don't know, because we all have biases. And all right, here we go. Okay, so first of all, I have my notes here. You guys know I have my notes here, so I don't want to miss anything. But let's get into this video. So what I loved about the two firearms, the Canik Rival and the CZ P10F comp, is that they both shot amazing. They both had low recoil. They were easy to handle. The sights were excellent. I told you guys before, I like a fiber optic sight and the blacked out rear sight with the serrations, and they both have that. And so it was easy for me to pick up my target when I was shooting. Even though they're big guns, I would say the Rival is a little heavier. I did not weigh it. I don't do all that. But when I lift it up like this, the Rival is a little heavier than the CZ, which is a little more sleek than the Rival. But they had great ergonomics. They felt tremendous in the hands. And to be honest, I will recommend them both. I feel like the Rival is more of like the Acura on the streets, right? And then the CZ is more of like the Mercedes-Benz on the streets. But just continue with this video so you can see where I'm going with this. So here's where they started to separate themselves from me. And first we're going to get into the Canik. So with the Canik, okay, look at that. The Canik, it allowed me, with the ergonomics and the design of the frame, it allowed me to get as high as I wanted to on the firearm. Now, I told you guys before, I like a very high grip. I like it to be as high as possible, no space. I'm here with it. I'm high, okay? And that's important to know right there. So it allowed me to do that. Whereas the CZ, I could get high if I didn't shoot this first. I could get high on the firearm, but when you go from shooting one way to shooting another way, not necessarily another way, when you go from shooting one gun to another gun, sometimes you have to adjust your grip. So I was super high on here, but then when I got on here, I realized that, remember I told you how I like the slide lock and that it protrudes, is extended? Because I was so high on the Canik, once I got on the CZ, this started to, I started to actuate that, and basically and ultimately, I prevented the slide from locking back on the last round. So the Canik allowed me to have the perfect grip that I prefer whereas the CZ, I had to adjust it a little bit. The longer distance accuracy. So on the Canik, phenomenal. The grouping was small. I shot 10 feet, 20 feet, 30 feet out using Winchester and Herters, 115 grain, and I shot between 300 and 350 rounds. More like 350 because I filled up the magazines before I left. So I have about 175 rounds between the two, okay? The point of aim and point of impact as I went further out, well, even, I would say at all the distances, if I'm being honest, the point of aim and point of impact on the Canik was like perfect. Like wherever I pointed, wherever I aimed, that's where the round impacted. On the CZ, it had more of a 12 o'clock hold. And I told you guys before, when I'm shooting, whatever I'm aiming at, that's where I wanted to hit, okay? And this, I had to aim at 12 o'clock in order for it to hit the center of the target. And I was talking to Diesel from Diesel TV, and I was like, listen, I don't know why that was happening. He was telling me something like the CZ has like something with the sights. I don't know, like higher sights, lower sights, something like that. And I'm looking at it. I want to say the CZ has like higher sights. And so maybe that's why, I don't know. All I know is that he was trying to explain it to me. He was telling me why the CZ has a 12 o'clock hold as opposed to the Canik that has a center hold. Nonetheless, I like that the Rival has a center hold. Wherever I aim, that's where the bullet is going to impact. So I love that about the Rival. Next thing, the trigger. The trigger was easy for me. Now, I showed you guys, in a previous video where here is the take up. That's the break. Reset, okay? Completely different than the CZ where let's take up, well, the break is heavier, okay? And so, because of that, something with the trigger, I don't know what it was, but when I shot the Canik, I was more accurate and the grouping was smaller than the CZ. But don't get me wrong, the CZ grouping was small too. It was just off to the right. So something I was doing with my finger when I was pulling the trigger that forced the CZ to be off to the right. Again, I was talking to Diesel about that, and he was like, you know, that's not a gun thing, that's a you thing. And he said, for whatever reason, on the CZ, I couldn't straighten it out. But on the Rival, my shots were straight. So I don't know what that was about, but I did notice that I had better control of the trigger on the Rival. Now we're going to get into some positives for the CZ that I noticed that separated it from the Rival. Magazine capacity. So real quick, with the Canik has 2 magazines, okay? It comes with 2 magazines, 18+1. Also with the Canik magazines, apparently there's some type of shortage. So if you're using this for competition, you're not going to have a lot of options when it comes to magazines. Whereas with the CZ, it comes with 3 magazines, 19+1 capacity. Again, the capacity in Connecticut doesn't matter because we only get 10 rounds, but this is for you guys in free states that can have more than 10 rounds. So with the CZ, you get more magazines, get more capacity, and they're readily available. Whereas with the Canik, you get less magazines, less capacity, and they're not readily available, okay? Again, that was the magazine capacity and the CZ auto forward. So I told you in previous videos, when this is a loaded mag and you insert it into the CZ, when the slide is locked back, it automatically goes forward, okay? With the Canik, it did not do that. There is no auto forward. So if I would put when I would put the magazine in, I would literally have to go like this and slide the slide home, okay? So yeah, I didn't like that, but again, it probably wasn't designed for that. So there's that. The slide lock lever on the Canik. I told you in the previous video that I felt like it was flush, right? And if you look at it, it is flush, okay? It doesn't protrude much, all right? And so because of that, there are times where I had inserted the magazine, and for the most part, I went like this, and it did not close. Like, I had to do this. I think maybe 1 or 2 times it actually did it, but then other times I had to bring my other thumb up and do it, which takes off seconds if you're in a competition. And the other thing about that is if it's an ambi gun, then I want this to work, because the whole purpose of it is to use your thumb to get back on the shot, not to flip it around manually, release the slide and all that. It takes too much time. So I didn't like that about the Rival. However, again, on the CZ, it wasn't a problem. Okay. So here are some overall thoughts, okay? I'm getting close to ending this video. Overall, if I'm shooting competition, and I would not use this for home defense. In fact, I probably wouldn't use this for home defense. But if I'm shooting competition and I'm shooting a striker-fired handgun, some people use the SIG P30 Legion, some people use the Glock 17L or the Glock 34, some people use the MMP with the 5-inch barrel from the Performance Center. Some people use striker-fired handguns for competition. If I'm using the striker-fired handgun, I'm going with the Canik all day. I'm going with the Rival. This is a beast. I'm telling you, like, I was shocked. Like, what is going on? Like, I was... Canik, I'm impressed. I'm really impressed. This is my first Canik, and I'll never forget it because it's just, it's darn near perfect. It's an excellent firearm. However, if I'm going with any type of competition shooting and I'm shooting a double action, single action firearm, I'm going with a CZ all day, every day, twice on Sundays. Now, I know this is a striker fire, and I don't have my double action, single action competition CZ firearms up here. But my point is, if I'm doing double action, single action, CZ all day, every day, twice on Sundays. Okay, it's non-negotiable. Okay, with the CZ, you got the slide that rides inside the frame, creating a lower bore axis. It's more accurate. It has a heavier barrel. Like, the double action, single action CZ options is ridiculous. So yeah, all day, every day, twice on Sundays. But if I'm doing striker fire, I'm taking this out. If I'm going to the range to shoot and have fun, I'm taking this out. So listen, at the end of the day, the Canik Rival is great for the range. It's an excellent competition choice. All right, it's fun. You're going to have a great time with it. It's going to turn heads. Your shooting experience is going to be wonderful. All right, you want to get outside. You want to go to those plate shoots. Bop, 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 bop. You want to tear it up. All right, but the longevity of the Caniks are unknown. All right, it's just, it's unknown. We know that Caniks rock right now. We don't know about 10, 20, 30, 50, 80 years from now. We don't know. What we do know is that CZ is proven. It's reliable. People trust it with their lives. Military and law enforcement choose this every day. Okay? It has millions and millions of rounds, thousands and thousands of barrels tested, data out the wazoo. It has been proven. It has so much data, you can go back years and years and years. And so because of that, CZ will always be the first choice when it comes to comparing these two. I feel like it's not even fair to compare them because of the history CZ has in the market. It dominates competition shooting for a reason, okay? I see Canik looking at CZ like, wow, they're such a role model. I want to be like CZ. I know that's kind of corny, and maybe they're not looking at CZ like that, but my point is Canik has a lot to offer. And I think right now, in the moment, we love Canik. We love what they offer. We love that they're continue to design, create. The ingenuity is there. And so they're not taking their foot off the gas. They have a lot to offer, and they've been consistent with listening to customers. They've been consistent with fixing any type of issues. I know they, what was it? The Elite came out and they had a spring issue when they first came out because I guess we were using 115 grain, they were using 124 grain. My point is they fixed it, okay? And we haven't had any issues after that. And they stand behind their line, and it's just, I'm glad I made the leap. I'm glad I went to the store and I bought this. I'm happy. Diesel talked me into it. And so Canik they're very promising. But as of today, and possibly tomorrow, I'm gonna have to ride with CZ, okay? But either way, if you go to the store and you pick up either one of these firearms, or you pick up maybe another model of the Canik, you will not be disappointed. It shoots lovely. I also shot the Elite and loved the way it shot. So that is a mouthful, and I hope you guys got something from this video. I told Diesel that I was afraid to do this video because if I shot the Canik and loved it, I was going to struggle getting on camera saying that, but I had to tell the truth. And as far as a striker fire competition handgun, the Canik did this thing. It rocked out. I can't even lie, but yeah, I'm still CZ all day, every day. All right, so that's that on that. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Let me know how you feel in the comments below so we can have a dialogue. And I hope you're doing well, treating one another with kindness, and I'll see you on the next video. Thanks.